Okay, so what are the advantages of shading as shown by a series of studies?
Well, everywhere in Europe we are conducting studies now about the benefits of solar shading. We have now also done this very recently a study by Guildhouse, that is a consulting company, there's a very large one who is also advising policymakers, and we have done it as also for the EPBD, the Energy Performance Buildings Directive, which is now being revised. So in that study we have seen is that shading, dynamic shading, automated shading can do a lot on energy savings and also on CO2 emission and reduction of CO2 emission, and that it is also cost efficient technology. So that means that we can compare ourselves with air conditioning and that we can reduce a lot of the energy consumption of air conditioning. So here in Greece you have already the overheating problem. So what you can do with shading is that you can reduce just the energy consumption of air conditioning. So that is what we try to convey also to the policymakers.
So, according to Guidehouse study of 2022, by 60% the need for energy consumption for cooling can be reduced with the parallel use of an automated shading system. How feasible is such a thing in today's Europe?
Well, what we see is, of course, Europe is very big. We have different countries. Some are more advanced than others. Some are more connected to exterior shading and others are more connected to internal shading. So, but when you use an automated shading, we have shown in this study that you really can have benefits. Exterior shading, of course, can do more than interior shading. So, does the automation of shading, let's say in a lot of countries, is now being more and more motorized and automated. So I think that will be also the future. Automated shading is also part of the so-called smart readiness indicator. So that is an indicator how smart your building can become by using, for instance, automated solar shading. So it's part of the dynamic building envelope. So there we see also that in the future, and it's already busy, that automated shading will become more and more a standard.
So, architecture and shading, architects love wide openings, but shading doesn't. What is your opinion on this? Can these two be combined?
Yes, I think so, because we see in countries, for instance like in Belgium, we use a lot of big windows because we are sitting inside maybe 85% of our lifetime, so that needs exterior, just an exterior view, and then we love big windows. But of course we have more and more overheating problems as well. So what we can do is, with exterior shading, we can really cover these big windows. And there are really nice solutions. We align a little bit to the architectural design. So it is possible.
What actions are you planning for Shading Day 2024?
Well, the first Global Shading Day was in 2023. That was a kick-off of that year, and we saw already a lot of enthusiasm of the companies. What we do now, we have evaluated what we did last year, and we will now add something more for the dealers, because the dealers are connected to the end consumers. And what we will prepare now, and that is a little bit based on the example of Greece, we will make a flyer with facts and figures for the end consumers, so that we can explain more the benefits.
And tell us a little about the industry's training programs.
Yes, well, we started in fact in, let's say, 2016-15 with developing an ESSO Academy. So the first trainings came out in 2018, and we started with the advisor course. So that's a full-day course with really the essentials, the basics of solar shading. It's more the science of solar shading, because we work with the sun, and the sun is for us the source where we can or reject the heat, or also have the solar gains from it. So then we can save on energy for cooling, for heating, and even for lighting, because it's dynamic. We can also have the daylight in when it is useful. So that we want Also just to convey to our professionals how do you do it in let's say in an educational way. So based on studies, experiences of this many countries in Europe. So the advisor course was the first one, and then we developed the expert course. This advisor course was more connected to the residential and small offices, professionals working in that field, but the expert course is more for large projects. So we go more into deep knowledge of the solar shading technology related to glass, to the building, to other technologies as well. And now, we were discussing this that just before this that I had this interview. We want to have everybody to be connected with the benefits of solar shading. When you work for a company, a solar shading company, then we say you need also to know a little bit what are the benefits of dynamic shading. And that is now the third course that we will make. It is a kind of an introduction course. It will have a length of 90 minutes, we think, where we explain in a very, let's say, easy way, with a lot of illustrations, what are the benefits of solar shading. And I think when we have these three levels just now, then we will really have a very good training framework for our professionals.
So these were my questions. If you would like to add anything else?
Yes, I want to add something. We have now the Energy Performance Building Directive, which is under review. And what we want to achieve this now, or having a recognition of it now, is that dynamic shading, when it's automated, we call it electrically operated solar shading, that is also regarded as a technical building system. You know that air conditioning, the ventilation system, the heating systems, they are all recognized as a technical building system, but solar shading is not. So, but it's also, let's say, it's technology, and it has also to build in, it has to be operated, and when it's automated, then it has to be regarded as a technical building system. And the reason is that we want to put it at the same level of, let's say, of air conditioning. It is not shading or air conditioning, it is maybe shading and air conditioning for the future. And therefore we need to start first with solar shading and then to add air conditioning when it's still needed. That is a little bit our mindset, and that's why we need to upgrade it as a technical building system. The technology is ready for it. It's a mature technology in Europe. It's only the policymakers need to recognize it. That is what I wanted to add.